let me update you guys on Nigeria, because I reported on them last week because Bishop John Schol, who of course has been serving Eastern Pennsylvania and one other conference, wrote the leadership in Nigeria saying, we are going to have a special called conference on Monday, July 22nd, and you guys need to prepare for me. And as I reported then, people in Nigeria and leadership reported, they said, we're not going to be able to get everybody together quickly enough for that. Please, could you move it back? And he said, no, we're going to do this thing now. And he's kind of been throwing his weight around, and people have been really anxious about this. John Schol has been known for a long time to be with the progressives in the United States. Granted, most Africans really don't follow what happens in the U.S. very well. Why would they? How could they? Most are not really plugged into our networks, although the ones that are distressed. But Schol was known for, there was a thing in the media cycle in Methodist world a month ago where there was a woman who had been kicked out of the UMC leadership. She'd been clergy and she was openly gay, and so she got kicked out of the ministry. But once the denomination changed its stance on homosexuality, she came back and he ordained her, and there's a big hullabaloo about it. So he's been with the progressive faction for a long time. I've covered him extensively, more than most bishops. I covered his behavior at his annual conference where he manipulated the floor pretty overtly, in my opinion, uses highly emotive language, tries to kind of redirect group emotions, and also wastes a lot of time so that he can force things through that he wants to do. That being said, he also officiated, that's not the right word, presided over General Conference a couple months ago, and he did a fantastic job so far as I was concerned. Did a good job over the body. So now he's intending to come, he's already there in Nigeria, trying to, according to him, build inroads of peace and reconciliation, because it's widely known there's a lot of unrest in Nigeria. They have the only African bishop who several years ago said that he was interested in splitting off with a right-leaning faction that would become the GMC. They haven't joined the GMC yet. They're looking at different options, and it remains to be seen, can they be a part of the United Methodist Church? Bishop Schol is there, I think, to try and suss that out. Can they be part of the GMC? I'm not quite sure. Maybe they'll go independent. How much loyalty do they feel towards the United States? So Schol, he's right about to retire. It's kind of interesting that he signed up to go. I don't think they would have made him go. He signed up to go, and so he's there representing the United Methodist Church, trying to figure out what's... I'm not entirely clear on what his goal is, but he's not been received well. I'm a part of a WhatsApp group full of Africans that have been very angry that he's there. They know that he officiated this ordination of a gay person and that he's been on the side of the institution. So to their minds, the people that I'm reading, he is not welcome. So here's a guy named Harry Kanawa. I don't know how he pronounces his name. And he's been posting some videos and posts on it. So this is the first one that I took note of, and that was just 15 hours ago. It says he wept at the cabinet meeting. Details tomorrow morning. Regionalization failed. So what we're going to do now is he actually posted a video here of a confrontation that happened yesterday. This is with the bishop, the bishop and the district superintendents, the cabinet. So they're all meeting separately, and you see Bishop Schol standing right here. And then one of the DSs is so worked up already, he's standing. And if they are speaking English, I haven't been able to figure out what they're saying. And you see he's holding his own, like he's not just, I would think that upper middle class white guy from America would be very uncomfortable in a setting like this. And he's obviously uncomfortable. But you see it escalating.
And we cabinet, you have to listen to us. Don't go to Andy and his group. We are not going to see them.
So I don't know if he's trying to leave there or if he's trying to get closer to this guy just to show he's not afraid of him.
No. Hold that. You can't speak in court.
Okay, they calm down for a bit, but they don't stay that way. Things escalate. At one point, 2, 3, maybe 4 guys are standing up and yelling at him. He's just taking it.
You are coming for the election peace, and you are coming to bring them. There will be no you better go back. No election. There will be no member of the
They're not giving him a word edgewise. I can honestly say I've been in some stressful pastoral environments. I haven't been in one like this. So the bishop is there, the Bishop John Wesley Yohana, he's sitting down. So eventually, you know, he's just letting them unload on Schol. But he gets involved here in just a second. That's him standing with the collar on. Alright, now he's stepping in. God, these guys are so mad. So the bishop's trying to calm them down, but they're not listening.
Wait.
It's almost over, and the reason I keep it going is because when they posted this, they said he ran out of the meeting. I don't see him running, but he does seem to just step out at the end. He seems to just step out at the end. So, you know, the way that was reported by them was that he had run out of the meeting. Well, yeah, what did he say? Watched the unfinished cabinet yesterday at Northern Nigeria annual conference of just 2 joint cabinets out of 4 Central and Northern Nigeria annual conference. Schol ran out of the cabinet. Details of the special called session coming your way later. So I didn't see him running, but he did leave. I probably would have left too. It didn't seem like a particularly productive gathering. So it's kind of my nightmare where, you know, just you're surrounded by angry people and they're using words, but they're not listening. I laugh. It's not really funny. It's really sad, actually, that that things have gone this way. It was kind of predictable, and this is a natural response. I would hope that the church would respond better. And you notice not all the superintendents are behaving that way. But when you've been gaslit and ignored for, I don't know, a couple decades so far as they're concerned, and the Western liberals have just done whatever they want, and then you just have this guy high on his own power showing up to tell you how things are going to be, that does not seem to sit well with them. So there was another incredible piece of footage. I got a couple other things that we can watch, but I just thought that this was an interesting one as well.
Saurari magana da za mu yi muku a wannan lari. Ku yi hakuri kar ku rika kone wani abu. Yayi ku ji mana. Mun sani.
So that's LBG, the rainbow flag burning right there.
To the good United Methodist.
All right, so Bishop Schol is obviously yelling at this whole crowd. That's Bishop John Wesley Yohana at the bottom left there. And then you have other conference officials around. You'll also see the guy in the green jacket at the top right. That's Absalom Nuhu, who I've interviewed before.
Of Nigeria. Thank you for coming. I hear your concern.
Yes. Ya saurari dukkan damuwoyinmu da matsalolin da muke ciki.
I understand that in Nigeria, homosexuality is not permitted.
So he's saying, I'm hearing your concerns. I understand that in Nigeria, homosexuality is not permitted. And then hear the response. So something I notice about this is we've seen Liberia, people protesting. I don't think we've seen a crowd this size. Secondly, none of these posters are like professionally made. They're like all just handwritten. I think this is an organic response. Maybe, I think Liberia's probably is too, but it has some help from sympathetic parties. This is just angry people.
I or nobody else is here to promote homosexuality.
Says, I'm not here to promote homosexuality. We're not going to do that.
We are not here to present homosexuality. That is not legal in Nigeria.
Yes, sir.
We are not here to talk about regionalism. I am not here to promote regionalism. I'm here to listen. I'm here to work with you.
So he says, I'm not here to promote regionalism. I think he means regionalization, which is the plan that was already adopted by the General Conference and that they would need to approve. He's saying, I'm not here to promote that. He's already promoted it. He's clearly in favor of it. I don't know why he said that. Well, because there's a bad stink in the air about it there. He's saying, I'm just here for reconciliation. I'm here to listen. Who could take offense to that, right?
Yes, I'm here to vote the United Nigeria to move forward.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are important to the United Methodist Church. And it is the delegates who have the vote to say how things are going to go in your annual conference. Yes. It is the delegates that have the responsibility to ensure that the church moves forward to proclaim Jesus Christ as our Savior.
So as stressful as all this is, it also looks just kind of exciting. I don't know, this kind of a field preaching dynamic. He doesn't have amplification. There's people all gathered around. The part that would irritate me is all the smartphones being out, but you know, that's just part of the modern world wherever you go. So anyway, I mean, he goes on speaking. That was not the full video. There was one other video that I thought was interesting. Bishop Schol got interviewed by some news, and she starts off with the hard question.
Okay, you had your convention recently. What's the position of the church concerning gay marriage?
What's the position of the church concerning gay marriage? Of course, the denomination liberalized its position on gay marriage, made room for ordained clergy to be gay, to perform gay wedding ceremonies. All prohibitions against gay stuff are now gone. Let's see if he's honest about that.
In terms of gay marriage in the United Methodist Church, each region, each area, like Nigeria, will make its own decision about it.
He says each region, each area is going to make its own decision about it. So, which is kind of true, you know, but that's not really, you know, the concern. So yeah, the concern is, are Westerners going to impose their values on non-Americans? And the reality is, yeah, there's already been foreign interference in a lot of ways through the institution, but it's not overt. And in the meantime, they're saying, hey, you guys, it's illegal here, and we can't force you to do anything, which is real. It's just there's only one way to feel once you've read 1 Corinthians, so it goes on a little bit.
Okay, assuming Nigeria is against it, how are you going to operate?
What will be your next line of action?
Our next line of action is to continue to work toward bringing peace, unity, and healing, so that there's reconciliation. That is the action that we're
Peace, unity, reconciliation.
What is the solution of bad?
He said there's a little bit more to the interview, but it's really not very substantial. And eventually, Bishop John Wesley steps in and he speaks. I forget which language he speaks in. So anyway, very frustrating, tense situation. Of course, you can't really talk about Nigeria without talking about Ande Emmanuel, who I've interviewed, and at the time I didn't really know much, and it's been really hard to understand what's going on the ground. It seemed increasingly clear that he is in the thrall of Western powers, and he's there to sow discord and confusion. So if you don't know who he is, that's him. He's actually got another Facebook page as well where he's running for bishop. He thinks they're going to allow him to be a bishop over there. If you didn't watch General Conference, he got on the floor a few times and tried to put himself forward as a very equitable and magnanimous leader. Did not know what he was doing. I don't know how this information came to be known, but on this WhatsApp group, apparently, a couple people that I trust allege this. They say that he just withdrew 16 million naira from his bank account. They say it came from Bishop Schol and from Mark Holland. I don't have any idea how they would know this, but he has apparently shown up with a bunch of his people, not conference delegates, just kind of his thugs, to stand in the way of today's special called conference and make his presence known. So I haven't gotten a whole lot of updates about that. I just woke up this morning and scrolled through my WhatsApp feed. And it just seems like there's going to be a showdown here. There have been several, if you don't remember my reporting on Andy, he's been in open rebellion against his bishop for a couple of years now. He's tried to erect himself as a leader, the only legitimate conference leader. He's filed lawsuits against the conference that have not only been dismissed, but he's had to pay fines for wasting everybody's time. He's brought thugs to conference gatherings with knives, supposedly. I saw pictures of the knives and the thugs, but not video of them using them. There's just a long pattern of behavior where he's bent on disagreement. There have been several interventions from other bishops getting involved and saying, now, Andy, you need to do this for reconciliation, and he refuses to do it. Apparently, Bishop Schol, once he got there, asked to see Andy, and they said, why? He's not a conference official. He's in open rebellion. He's not gotten with the program that you guys have said that he needs to do. And then they told him about a series of recently rebellious things that he's done, and they said, in text, I didn't see the video, that Bishop Schol wept whenever he learned of this. It's hard can you imagine being Nigerians and trying to know what to do with this American bishop that, on the one hand, it takes boldness to show up and do what he's doing, but on the other hand, he seems to be very clearly aligned with forces of darkness. And you want to be polite and Christian, but also you've got lots of pent-up anger towards him and other people of this institution that have compromised the integrity of your religious life. So there have been people that, this Harry Kanawa guy, he says in a couple posts that Bishop Schol is gay. Bishop Schol's not gay. If any Africans watch this, he's not gay. He's got a wife, he's got kids. But he is, the relevant thing is he is on the other side that doesn't think that being gay is a problem, can be good and holy, and has happily ordained people and made a way for the United Methodist Church to be an institution that does that sort of stuff. But in the meantime, a lot of Africans' eyes are being opened right now. Like in America, a lot of Americans had no idea what was going on. In Africa, they're just now learning. This guy, Alfred Kwanabena Mensah, He is not Nigerian, he's Liberian, but he has been making posts. They're just now learning about Miss Pentecost, who is a drag queen in United Methodist Seminary being supported by dollars, apportionment dollars. He's also gone down the line, let's see, Cedric Bridgeforth, who's considered a bishop in the United Methodist Church, with his husband, Bishop Oliveto, with her supposed wife. So Africans, of course, are scandalized by this. They can't believe that a church would condone this and elevate people to its highest position. And then they're reckoning with the fact that bishops are bishops of the whole church. And so hypothetically, when the bishop of, which African nation was it, died, Bishop Warner Brown, who's American, got put over them. What's to keep a gay bishop from being put over an African conference in the future? And there is no answer for that. So there's a lot of righteous anger and consternation and confusion over in Africa. And Nigeria is just a hotbed anyway, for reasons that we were talking about before I even began this segment. It's a place of Christian persecution. There's a lot of lower income, not highly educated, fervent, salt of the earth believers there. The church is not rich there, so when they're talking about leaving the United Methodist Church, they're talking about leaving not something that's nice, but something that's really needed. Methodist clergy don't make a lot over there. I know some of the clergy. One of them recently wrote me and said he doesn't have enough money for food. So it's a hard situation over there, but they're standing on their integrity rather than love of money, except for a couple of them, of course. So anyway, if you want to be in prayer, we'll pray for them at the conclusion of today's live stream. But pray for peace. Pray that Schol can listen to them and not manipulate them. Pray that they can be their best selves and not scream at them. I saw a video this morning of the bishop driving with 6 other guys in his SUV, and one of the guys in the SUV posted it, and he said, we're going to the airport and we're getting John Schol a ticket, and he's going home today or tomorrow. So we'll see what happens at the special called conference. We'll see what happens with Andy Emmanuel and his team confronting the bishop's team. There's a lot of drama and stuff up in the air, so just keep your eyes on Nigeria and pray for them. All right, that's going to be my concluding thoughts on that. I'm going to go through your comments on all this. I see that a number of you wrote comments, actually. Ooh, Steve, that's helpful. Thank you. Nigeria has the most deaths. So I hadn't been aware of that. I've seen some really disturbing footage of like maimed and like dismembered Christians. I mean, like when they get killed, it's bad. The men in the northern and predominantly Muslim Nigeria hazard their lives for the gospel every day. They have counted the cost and sold all for the pearl of great price. These are the tried and true. Indeed. Johnny says there's no reason for a meeting to get to that point. This is what happens when you push an agenda that people don't want. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you, Johnny. Lisa says it's too little too late, Bishop Schol. This is exactly what I posted out on the UMC Facebook and was rebuffed. The UMC posters denied that homosexuality was illegal in some African countries. I advise about the massacre of thousands of continued Christians. They kept saying that none of the Africans faced death for their faith. Yeah, there's real ignorance about people counting the cost and paying the price. There are a lot of American Christians who think that their standard of comfort is normative around the world. They don't realize, and these people saying this are not really Christians, but they don't realize, Christianity is the most persecuted religion in the world per capita, and it comes at great cost for many people to follow, and so they just don't have time for these Western corruptions of the faith. They need the faith that saves. Lisa says the time for listening was before decisions were made. That's absolutely the case, Lisa. Not to have that discernment And to think that you're going to show up now and do something is just really weird. He's saying that it's not a God question, but that it's a culture one, and that's the incompatible with theory faith. Well, I would say with saving faith, but I don't think he would say different. Yeah, I mean, it's just two different faiths altogether. It's what I've been saying for a long time. The liberal gospel is very different from the gospel of Jesus Christ. I was watching a video of a liberal Lutheran pastor this morning, lady pastor, preaching that the Great Commission is racist and not part of the gospel. When are we going to wake up and see that these people are just another religion altogether? So, yeah, I mean, it's amazing that Schol has it in him to show up and have all this drama and all this interaction. He didn't have to. I think he's just living in a different world. You know, somebody was writing me about this a couple days ago, and I said, I think he's a true believer in his religion. You know, it's just a different religion. So I don't wish the man evil. There's a meme that pops around with him. If anybody knows the Harry Potter universe, the bad guy's name is Voldemort. Somebody edited his face to make him look like Voldemort. They call him Schmoldemort. And it's funny, but I don't pass that meme around because I don't want to demonize people I disagree with. And so far as people I disagree with, Schol actually has been much more respectful and agreeable than a lot of other blowhards. So I just think he's wrong. I hope no harm comes to him. I hope he gets out of the country and that they consider Nigeria a loss and they let him go and they don't take their properties. They don't send Andy Emanuel any more money to cause confusion. But so far, the record of the United Methodist Church is not aimed at peace and understanding. It's aimed at power and material wealth. So we'll see.